All right, woo! Okay, everybody, welcome back to me, to the U.S. I've been in Europe for like ever. So I'm back, and let's talk about some horses and stuff. All right, so here we go. We got our classic warrior horses site that we all have. And one of the things the warrior horses have been looking at is they got their things list here, and they got this progress, and that's all right. It's a little boring, right? It just tells the percentage here. So they want some options. Now Microsoft done the cool thing here, where if you go to column settings and format this column, you got this nice little thing here, this little wizard. Turn that on, and it's going to turn on data bars automatically for you. You can edit that template. You can see it's already got the 0 to 1 for the percentage. So it's kind of cool. You can pick a main color, right, if we want to turn it red. And that's all right. And if you take a look at it, right, it's generating that JSON, little formatting for us. You know, it's using that old AST syntax. It's lovely. But here's one of the problems. This is not theme sensitive, right? So that makes the horses sad. So luckily, they know about our spdev list formatting repo, where we've got a cool sample over here under column samples. We go down to number. We got data bar. And we go to data bar percent. Which one is that? Percent data bar. Right, we're just going to copy and paste this guy right here. Copy that. I'm going to paste it over here. Not that. Paste it there, and you notice we get the same kind of thing, but now we get a nicer display with our percentage here, and we get the nice theme color and everything. And that's cool and all we're really doing is we've got a div with variable width on there. And that's all right, but we can get even fancier, right? So we go back over here, and we go back one level. We go to our number pie chart, where we've got something that's doing something really interesting. Our number pie chart, which one is that? Yeah, let's go pie chart, Jason. That sounds great. And we grab this pie chart, copy that, and we paste that in. Now we start to see something really interesting. Right, so we're drawing pie charts dynamically. And if you take a look through this, what's happening is some fancy stuff right here. So we've got an SVG element, and we've got a single path on there. And you can see we're actually applying a formula inside that path to determine where all that goes. So you can read that later. That's really exciting reading, fun stuff. Now, if you wanted to go a little fancier on these pie charts, right, you can always turn to the old column formatter. We've got a wizard for you. Go down to number, and we'll stick donut. We'll hit OK. We'll say 0 to 1. Right, we'll put our donut to 40 pixels. That sounds great. All right, oranges. All right, we'll pick a purple light. Sounds perfect. Okay, I'm going to say none. And we're just going to go grab that code here. So this is a way to generate those same kind of calculations that are happening in the SVG dynamically. I'm rushing through this so I can show you something a little bit different. So let's grab that. Come over here. We're going to paste that in. Now we start to see, now we've got something we can do a little fancier, right? So we can take some of those complex calculations within the SVG path, and we can hand it off to column formatter. Now, what if we want to do our own? Say you're B, and you are, because no, you're not. All right, so here we go. I got an SVG that I drew, right? It's a nice little gauge here with pretty rainbow colors. You know, I want to take that, and I want to use that. So I can open this up. If you guys haven't messed with SVGs before, you can either download them or draw them yourself like I did here in something free like Inkscape. And then you can open them up in VS Code because these are just XML files, right? So that's all an SVG is, right? See the SVG up here? And if we come down here, we got our paths and blah, blah, blah. And all we really care about is the style, which is our color, and then the actual D element here, which is telling it what to draw. And you can drag all these down, and you could fill those out inside a format just by placing your style inside a style element here inside the children of the SVG, right? We got our fill, and then we have our attributes, D. Now again, the point isn't to go through how to translate SVGs. You don't even need to know what all these Ds and fancy things are happening here. You just copy and paste those from Inkscape. So I've done that, and I've added this fancy little one down here where I'm doing some other calculations, right? So you can see I've got some cosine, and I've got my sine, and I've got all these if statements. But the point is not to wow you with my looked up formulas on Stack Overflow for circle calculations, right? But is to take a look, the idea that you can then dynamically draw these SVGs by editing these path elements directly and combining them with other paths. You do fancy things like, let's copy that and head back into our Warrior Horses site, paste that in, preview it. So now we get ourselves a nice gauge here, right? So let's see if we can see that. And we can see where that needle is being dynamically drawn. So we're always drawing the background SVG elements directly from our Inkscape file. But then we're also dynamically drawing, based on the percentage complete where this is, a nice gauge. So you can start to see that by using the SVG, which again is a pretty advanced functionality of list formatting, you can do some really, really cool stuff by changing around how those paths are drawn. Unfortunately, there aren't things like transform to do rotate. There aren't circles and lines and everything else. So I agree, Marcel. That is a great place where you can contribute. So if you want to make an SVG to JSON converter, that'd be awesome. All right, and let's see. I got one more slide there to show you, just so you got some samples here. So check out our full documentation of the SP Docs column formatting right there. And of course, you can check out the data bar, which is, I think, slightly better than the out-of-the-box one. And then, of course, there's a pie chart where you can go in there and see how that's done, and then we'll get that gauge up there as well. All right, that's all I got.